What's up, YouTube? It's Carl here, and it's going to be a leg day. And I know I've turned the past few leg days into kind of rant videos, and I don't want to be too negative all the time, so what I figured I'd do is I'd tell you a lovely little story about my bouncing job when I used to live in Florida. It's come about 10 years or so ago. So 10 years ago, I was going to college down in Florida and studying exercise science, and I didn't have a job. And my roommate's brother was around, and he ran a company called Inline Productions or something like that. And he just sold security and bouncer type things. He hired out bouncers, and he found out I didn't have a job, offered me $15 an hour. So boom, lickety split, I was a bouncer, checking IDs at the door and making sure nobody was doing drugs in the bathroom, stopping fights, and talking to bartenders, making sure there was no issues. It kind of got easy, you know what I mean? It was in a routine, standing in one spot for 8 hours, or walking around doing like a little patrol in the bar. It was easy, it was good, and it was fun. I actually really enjoyed it. But one night, my buddy Lance, who's his name, he goes, "Hey, we got this different account, and my usual guy who goes there doesn't want to do it anymore. Would you mind picking it up?" And I was like, "It doesn't really matter what it is. I've been a bouncer, done the things, got my flashlight, whatever." So they're like, "Yeah, it's kind of a weird show. I'll let you figure it out when you get there. Just tell the manager, the bar manager, it's your first time there, and they'll tell you what he wants you to do." So I show up, and I learned that it's the Kitchen Club. They changed the name of the club to the Kitchen Club. They're doing like a little show, and I didn't know the production or anything like this, but they're doing a show, I hear. So I've been to shows, and I've done music and stuff like that before. So thinking it's gonna be a lot easier tonight, because a lot of times the music shows were a lot easier. This was not a music show. This was they called it the Kitchen Club. And what it was a S&M club. And they had every other week on Friday night, they would have an S&M club. They shut down everything, covered up the pool tables, put whips and chains on the walls. They had a huge gallery where they were selling stuff. They just beating the living crap out of each other. Some really freaky stuff going on all the time in there. And it was my first night there, and I'm checking IDs at the door, and all these freaky people are coming in, and all these freaky people are going out, and I have to go in and go check on stuff. And I go in. There's a guy that's chained to a wall that's getting beat up by his wife, and she's just pounding on his ribs. He's tied up, and she is just pounding on his ribs. Bam, 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 throwing lefts and rights right into his ribs. And he's loving it. He's loving it. And the bar manager comes over, and he sees me seeing this, and he comes to me and he goes, "What's in your mind? What are you thinking?" And I just stopped, and I was like, I'm cool with this, I'm cool. But before I was stopping fights, and so I just looked at him and I said, "What's my job here? What am I to stop people from doing? Because anywhere else, this would be the line. I'd be stopping everything that's going on here." And he literally he gets a good laugh, thuds me on the shoulder, and he goes, "What I want you to do here is I want you to make sure people aren't having sex in the bathrooms, and I want you to make sure nobody's getting rowdy, and we can't have anybody under 21 ever. So that's your job on these nights. That's what you're doing." And actually, I did this for 2 years, or no, a year and a half. So I really didn't mind doing it, and I had a good time. Got to know the promoter, and yeah, never got involved or anything, thankfully. But a lot of freaky people. And my first night there, like I said, there was a linebacker woman. She must have weighed 300 pounds. She must have been near 7 feet tall. She was tied to the pool table, getting wax poured on her, all sorts of... there's an old man wearing a G-string, all sorts of stories. Yeah. So my first night there, it was it was a bit of a diving into the deep end. You know, I had no idea what was going on, and yeah, just weird experience. So whenever you hear those freaky stories about like, well, guess what happened in Florida? That was my guess what happened in Florida experience. I was a bouncer and did a lot of music shows, like I said, and really enjoyed doing it and had a lot of fun. And all of a sudden, like, they just gave me a call, like, hey, we got this other account. We don't want to give you too many details. You probably say no. And I was like, no big deal, $15 an hour. I'll walk around a bar for, 8 hours for $15 an hour. So anyway, that's my bouncer story. And I got a lot of things that happened down in Florida that should just never have been seen. There was a bar, there was a strip club in Miami called Secrets. And if you ever went to Secrets, never mind. I'm not even. That's a different story. I'll leave Secrets for a different story. Because that's like a funny story. Anyway, that's my bouncer story, and now we get to this leg day.